prior to 2010, and I went out because we were prioritized, contracted out, and I took my retirement and tried to invest it in the restaurant.
You're an exemplary citizen? Is your
I have
testimony?
been, yes, I have.
You admitted that you haven't been paying your personal property taxes, correct?
Well, I have not paid my personal property taxes, and it may sound ignorant. However, when I first got that, I didn't understand what it was when they were talking about personal property, because I thought it was my personal property.
What about your
And
charter?
it's the business personal property.
Let me jump in here. Do you have any documents today to show that you are in good standing with the State Department of Assessments and Taxation?
I have not paid the I have not paid for the personal property taxes as of today.
All right, so then you're probably not in good standing with the state, but you have not paid the personal property taxes yet.
I have not.
Okay.
However, I am prepared to.
You're prepared to pay them when? You can't give them to us.
Okay.
We're not the director
I understand
of finance. All right, when do you plan to pay them?
I can pay them tomorrow.
Can you tell us how much they are?
$2265.73.
And you're,
Why did you pay them before you got here?
Talk to the microphone, please.
I did not know what was going to happen, and I just didn't have the money today, and so I just came with what I had.
You current with your rent?
No, I'm not.
How can you consider yourself to be exemplary business owner if you're not paying your property taxes, you're not in good standing with the state, you're not in good standing with your landlord, and you have admitted, then rescinded that, but been found, there enough evidence for there to be an arrest for an assault charge on one of your patrons? How are you exemplary?
Well, as I indicated, it was an accident.
What was the accident? The picking up of the plate or glass, or the throwing of it?
Hitting the customer was an accident.
So you meant to pick it up and throw it, but not for it to be...
I told you that I was under a lot of stress at the time, and I had a cold, and I had taken some medication, and that was just my reaction. And when I say exemplary, I was saying that I've never been arrested, and I think not having an arrest record and being a good citizen and being a public server is exemplary. We all don't have. I'm sure that there have been times when you or anybody on this panel has lapsed in paying a bill on time. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I have led an exemplary life, and I believe that I have. I have been short on this because business is not as great as it could be. With the economy being the way that it is, I have.
Ms. Houston, let me get us back to where I want to hear from you. You just said, and correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't pay this because you didn't have the money.
Well,
and you
I
didn't
didn't have the money
today,
yesterday.
but you'll have it tomorrow.
Well, I'm on disability.
Okay.
And my check just came in.
Okay, that's all I want to know, because you
Okay.
said you didn't have it, now you say you can pay it tomorrow. And the reason I ask that is because I assume you've read these charging documents, and they say, on violation of Article 2B 10301J1, that you shall be immediately suspended without a hearing, and you shall be immediately returned your license without a hearing upon presentation of that certificate. So do you understand that we have to suspend your license until you pay those taxes?
No, I didn't understand that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say? All right, we're going to go off the record because this is a violation hearing, unlike some of this transfer hearing. under the Open Meetings Act, we can go in the back on this one. Prefer. I mean, I know we don't. Is the tax? Second part. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Up to 3.12.
What?
The facts suggested that.
Where you what? Where you at? You can sit there for 3 days.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm red. Well, hey. It's true. Right here.
What's this stuff?
Standard price. Depends on what one asks for. But they do offer same day.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm just trying to make sure we get that right.
11 to 12.
That resolution for the tax. Yeah. All the votes. Evil itself.
Let me, hold up. Let me see. Just change this one.
3? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so 250. And,
Yeah. That.
okay,
Until we get it.
all right, hearing fee?
But license itself, national license.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair enough. All right, let's go on the record. Decision phase, October 25th, 2012, Dale M. Wallace and Jennifer Houston, JEH Cuisines LLC, trading as Zella's Pizzeria, 1143 to 45 Holland Street. There are several violations. Ms. Houston, co-licensee, is here today. Excuse me, she admitted to the 4.18 charge and the 10301J1 charge. Indicates that she can pay the taxes tomorrow, owes $2,265.73. We'll deal with that first. Under 10301J1, the board could have already suspended your license without a hearing. Could have just come and taken it, but they didn't. They gave you a chance to come in here and talk to us. You haven't paid your taxes. That's why we asked you early on. Maybe you should get an attorney. Maybe you would have paid your taxes and brought us a receipt today showing that it was in. I understand you're saying you can't pay it to tomorrow. But what we have to do in this case under 10301J1 is to order the license immediately suspended. And as soon as you bring us a receipt for those personal property taxes, it's immediately unsuspended. So if indeed you can pay it tomorrow, it's just going to cost you a night. You admitted the 4.18 charge that you are not in good standing with Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation. And you would be if you didn't pay your personal property taxes. That would naturally occur. You need to submit us, we're finding you guilty of the 4.18, you'll need to submit us a copy of your certificate of good standing. It can be printed off the internet within 30 days. There's also a $250 fine associated with that charge. Finally, we get to the 3.12 charge, which quite frankly is shocking. We've heard your mitigating testimony about the stress that you were under, about the fact that you've lived an exemplary life. But it's completely antisocial, and we do hold bar owners and license holders to higher standards than somebody at the bus stop. You don't pick up a glass inside a crowded restaurant and throw it at another person and, in fact, hit an innocent person and put her in the hospital. It's wrong under any circumstances, no matter what stress. Even if, yes, no matter, I can't really think, unless you were being directly attacked, your body, your person was being attacked, that there's any excuse for that. I mean, honestly, we heard from Officer Chris Oliver, whose report was factually based. It was clear what happened. You never really contradicted that police report. You simply, quite frankly, added to it. The irony was that in the 15, 20 minutes that you've spoken, that you've testified for us, you spent 10 to 15 of them telling us about the burnt pizza and the bad employee, and only the last 5 minutes telling us about the accident, or I'm sorry, the action that brought you here. You have never had any problems other than tax problems before the liquor board, and we appreciate that. However, it's clear by a preponderance of the evidence, and then some, that you avoided disturbing the safety, peace, quiet, and welfare of the community on that evening. You caused the disturbance of the peace that night by throwing that glass. And you had an option, and you know your options. If someone comes in and starts beating on your on an employee of yours, you're going to call the police, right? Right. If somebody comes into your restaurant who's now an ex-employee and is fired and refuses to leave, you call the same number. You call the police. They defuse the situation. If she returns, she's arrested for trespassing. So, honestly, but for what you told us about the situation and the stress and the fact that this is not your typical behavior, you would be looking at revocation of your license right here for what you did. The board is not going to do that. The board is going to suspend your premises for 30 days. Your liquor license is suspended for 30 days from January 1st to January 31st, 2013. You have the right to file and seek judicial review of our opinion, of our administrative decision with the Circuit Court for Baltimore City. We will stay the suspension if the Circuit Court, if you file an appeal with the Circuit Court, then you won't have to be suspended January 1st till 31st, but you might face that 30-day suspension if your appeal is not successful. Okay, it's $250 plus a $125 administrative hearing fee for $375. The license is immediately suspended. The license will be activated again as soon as we get that receipt that your personal property taxes are paid, and you've indicated that you may be able to do that as early as tomorrow. After that, unless you file an appeal, you will be closed from January 1 and reopening on January 31, 2013. All right? Thank you very much. We're off the record.
Mr. Gentleman down.